the Integrated Impact. I am Imar and Naib. This is the story. Welcome back. I want you to think about the last time your program had a serious implementation delay. Not a minor scheduling adjustment, a real delay. The kind that forced you to revise targets, renegotiate timelines, or have an uncomfortable conversation with your daughter. Now ask yourself, was that delay caused by a bad program design, or was it caused by the breakdown in coordination between departments? 9 times out of 10, it is the second one. HR took 3 months to recruit a position you needed filled in 3 weeks. Finance flagged the procurement as non-compliant after your team had already committed to the vendor. The field office did not know about the policy change from headquarters, and it's too late to adjust. These are not isolated incidents, they are symptoms at that of the most dangerous and most tolerated dysfunctions in the nonprofit sectors, the departmental silo. Today, we break it open. And welcome to episode 3, Breaking the Silo. Let me describe the silo in its natural habitat. You have a program team and you think in activities, outcomes, and beneficiaries. Engagement, their success metric is impact. You have a finance team, they think in costs, categories, compliance requirement, and audit readiness, and their success metrics is zero findings. You have an HR team, and they think in positions, policies, and personnel risk mitigation. Their success metrics is procedural integrity. And then you have an operational teams, and they think in logistics, procurement, timeline, and vendor management. And their success metrics is efficiency. And every single one of these teams is doing excellent work within their own domain, and collectively, they're failing. Why? Because they don't share a common language. They don't share a common success metrics, and they don't share common timelines. And most critically, they do not share a common understanding of what the program actually needs from them and when. And here's the scenario I've seen dozens of times now. Program teams design an activity that requires hiring special consultants that they submit recruitment request to HR. HR processes it through their standard workflow, posting, screening, interviews, reference check, onboarding, standard timeline 8 to 12 weeks, and the program activity actually was scheduled to begin in 4 weeks. Nobody told HR that. Nobody told finance that the funds need to be obligated within the current quarter, and nobody told operations that the consultant will need equipment, workspace, travel authorization from day one. Result, the consultant starts 3 months late. The activity pushes to the next quarter. The budget shows and understand that triggered donor questions. The field team, which recognized their schedule around the activity, sits idle. Morale drops, the next quarter targets are now unachievable. Whose fault is that? Actually, everyone and no one. The system failed because no one owned the coordination. No one ensured that the program timeline, HR process, finance obligation schedule, and operation logistic pipeline were in sync. Under all fundings, organizations receiving funds must maintain financial management systems that ensure effective control and accountability. Internal controls that do not just mean preventing fraud. They mean ensuring organizational processes, procedures reliable, timely, coordinated results. Silos violate the spirit of that requirement, even if they don't technically violate the letter. The cost is enormous. I've calculated that in mid-sized nonprofits, interdepartmental misalignment accounts for 20 to 30% of all implementation delays, not external factors, not beneficiary challenges, not technical complexity, pure internal friction, and it's almost entirely preventable. Here's a coordination architect that eliminates silos, and I call it the shared language. The concept is simple. You cannot coordinate departments that measure success differently. So you create three universal metrics that every department reports against, regardless of their functional specialty. Metric 1, timeline fidelity. Every department tracks how close their deliverables align with the program master implementation timeline. HR does not just track a timeline to fill a position, they track timeline to fill a relative to the program's need. Date. Finance does not track time to process a payment, they track time to process relative to the implementation milestone that payments enabled. Metric 2. Budget utilization accuracy. Every department contributes to the accuracy of the budget forecasting. HR provides recruitment cost projection, operations provides procurement cost projections, and program provides activity cost projections. When all projections are integrated monthly, your budget forecast become a precision instrument. Metric 3, personnel development. Readiness, and this measures whether the right people are in the right place at the right time. Not just whether positions are filled, whether people are in those positions have what they need to deliver. Equipment, training, workspace, travel authorization, security clearance, whatever ready to deploy means for your context. Implementation of the protocols require one structural change, a weekly integration meeting, not a program meeting, not a finance meeting, an integration meeting, chaired by the program manager in their role as chief integrator. The agenda is fixed, 15 minutes, 3 questions. Where are we on timeline fidelity? Any department failing behind the master timeline has 60 seconds to explain and request support. 2, what's our budget utilization accuracy? Any variance above 10% gets a root cause and a correction plan. Personnel development readiness. Any position or person not ready for the next month milestone gets flagged now. This meeting replaces the chaos of bilateral coordination. It replaces the endless email chains, and it replaces the hallway conversation that never produces accountability. Everything flows through one mechanism, one cadence, one shared understanding. Your role as a PM in this architect and this design is not to do everyone's job. It is to ensure that everyone's job connects. You are the integrator. You are the person who sees across functions and creates coherence where chaos would otherwise reign. Practical 2. and create a cross-functional dashboard, 1 page, 3 metrics, update weekly, share with everyone. When a metric goes red, the reasonable, responsible department does not get blamed. They get supported. But the visibility is non-negotiable. Transparency is what kills silos. Not blame, not reorganization, transparency. And here's what I want you to implement this week. Identify the last 3 implementation delays in your program for each one. Trace the root cause to any interdepartmental coordination failure, not a technical failure, a coordination failure. I guarantee you will find at least 2 out of 3 traced back to silos. Then do this. Schedule a 30-minute conversation with your finance lead and your HR leads together in the same room. Ask one question. What do you need from the program team to do your job better? And what do you need to know from us earlier? That conversation, which almost never happens, will reveal coordination gaps that have been costing your program months of productivity. For hiring managers, when you are evaluating a program manager candidate, ask them how they've managed a cross-functional coordination in previous roles. Not whether they collaborated with the finance, ask them what specific mechanism they use to ensure synced execution across departments. The ones who have the real answer are the ones who can actually lead. I am Imar and Naib. This is Storycraft. Episode 4 next, compliance as a strategy. We are going to take the most feared word in the nonprofit sector, compliance, and I'm going to show you how the best organizations use it not as a burden, but as a competitive advantage. Break the silos, build the bridges, lead integrated. You've been listening to the Integrated Impact, and this is the Storycraft. Have a good day.